We are back. What y'all crying about tonight? Call me on Discord. I'm live. Thank you. Thank you. Girl next to me has a girl on his arms. My arms are empty. Jesse was singing this on the show the other day. It was so fun. Some guy called in crying because he didn't have a girl, and he was singing this to the guy. Seems so unfair when there's love everywhere and none for me. He said that to the guy. He was singing that to the guy. That guy was crying because he didn't have a girl. Man up, pussy. You know how not to get a girl? Cry like a bitch about not having one. That's a turn off. They don't like that. Someone to take on a walk by the lake. Lord, let it be me. That's how Parr feels. We got two phones here. Now we can check Twitter while we stream here. Got the other phone out, plugged it in, charge it up. Well, fucking Amos came back in Mexico in a battle royale, and then the last two people was him and a midget. It's so funny. Look at it. Man, this shit's so funny. He's looking around to see who's left in the ring. He looking all over. He can't see nobody. Little midget. That midget go up to his kneecaps. And then the midget hits the ropes and tries to get him, and then he just kicks him. Micro Man. Look at this. No, watch. You gotta see the whole thing. He started hitting his leg, look. What the fuck? Watch him look. Watch this midget. This is like some shit in Mexico. The mayor of Los Angeles and the governor. That's funny. WWE got some deal with some Mexican promotion now. They send their people down there sometime. Gun permit wait time in D.C. slashed from months to days under Trump's crime. That's the way to stop crime. Is to arm every citizen. And when you know that every citizen's armed, you might think twice about mugging a motherfucker. You ain't gonna mug a guy with a gun, that's for damn sure. If you think you got a gun, you could look for weak targets. What are you gonna do when they get Washington D.C. all cleaned up? They arrest all these thugs. And then you end up losing D.C. because all the citizens go, what the fuck? Why am I voting for Democrats? Actions is how you change voters. That's how you got to have action. You got to do things. You got to convince people through actions that they need to stop voting for these Democrats. The only way to do that is to clean up the mess. You can't let the mess continue. Then you look like just another guy who don't get nothing done. Trump's figured it out. The solution is to just do shit. Let the media cry. Let the Democrats cry. Let Democratic voters cry. Let them have a fit. And just get things done. We can't have soldiers walking the streets. Well, I agree, but you allowed the crime problem to spiral out of control. And thus, drastic times, I keep telling you, drastic times call for drastic measures. You did this. Why are all these young boys Nazis now? They're all fascists and stuff. Because of you. When are we going to take some accountability for what we've done to the young men? Are we supposed to forget the last 10 years of demoralizing them and shitting on them and putting women up on a pedestal? In your obsession with pleasing women, you forgot about the men. And that's why they don't vote for you no more. You're too catered to women. Well, I hope they can win you the elections because the men ain't voting for you. The only men voting for you are these old-ass men or these beta men. And that's a dying breed. They're not even having children, these weak men. They ain't having no kids. They ain't doing nothing. What's that one guy's name? Dean or something? Dean something? Something off about him. I don't know what. He looks like he's on drugs. Like he seemed like he's sweating all the time. Like he's like, you know what I mean? Like he's got a look to him where it just kind of looked like he's a little strung out of something. Man, it's probably Adderall or something. It's probably like something like that he's on. Like Adderall or something like that. It gives you guys a certain look. I don't know if you realize it or not, but those pills you taking that you get from the doctor, you think it's okay, you got a look to you when you're on them pills. He's always like sweating and shit. He just looks kind of sweaty, and he looked like he filled with anxiety. That's what he looked like. He looked like he tense all the time. Mitch McConnell's retiring, I believe. He needs to. He old as shit. And he's always like freezing up at the podium and shit. Remember that when he froze up at the podium? You think these people would have to resign after they freeze up at the podium. The press is asking questions. They just stand there for like a minute. And you're like, what's wrong with this guy? He's old as shit. I don't watch UFC no more. Moved on from that. I wish it well, though. I will watch the UFC at the White House, though. That'll be the next UFC I'll watch, is the one at the White House. You gotta watch that one. I don't give my number out to random people on the internet. I don't have a number, actually. I actually don't have one. I forgot about that. I don't have one. How nice. I just quit watching. I was never like super into UFC. I would watch it from time to time if there was like a big fight or something, but I've never been like super into it like Ricky Perez is. When there's like a big fight that I want to see, I watch it. And then everything else it's just like every other sport. You hear about it. If something happens, you hear about it. If there's something worth seeing, there'll be a highlight. Sitting down, spending 3 or 4 hours to watch this crap is just not worth it, really. I mean, some of these people watch like the football. They like their whole weekend is dedicated to football. They're watching all these games. This is so much. Who's got time for all that? These long ass games. I can't even remember the last UFC fight I watched. It was probably like John Jones or something. Sure, Dana White said he's not putting John Jones on that White House card. He's like, I can't rely on him. He's right. He's like, what are you talking? I can't put that motherfucker in the main event. Then he pulls out. Like, it's a big card. The fuck? Guy's unreliable. He'll probably get on it, though, because Trump, Trump will put a little word in. I don't think John Jones will let Trump down. I think he will show up for that fight. If he knows Trump's going to be there to watch it, I don't think he'll pull out. I think he got respect for Trump. I mean, if you want to pay me to watch every UFC, you can, but it seems kind of dumb. Why would Trump give Detroit to Russia? See, that's be saying stuff that don't even make sense. The stuff these liberals say now. He's going to give him Alaska. What do you like? I don't even know where they come up with this shit from. Nobody says anything like that. Nobody hints at something like, you know what I mean? Nobody jokes about that. They just come up with it. They said that wasn't even Putin. It was a body double. Putin sent his body double. They was analyzing the picture of him. They was like, nah, face is too puffy. Y'all lost your goddamn minds. Y'all used to make fun of people that did shit like that. Now you've become those people. It's funny as hell. I didn't even know Fight Pass was still a thing. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about that. Poor Democrats. They're getting wrecked. They're getting wrecked. They're saying they want to have Lizinski and Putin in a meeting before Friday. Or as soon as Friday. Trump's ready to get this over with. There's other things to do. It's time to end this shit. Enough. It's so funny that Trump made this deadline. He said, all right, I'm done with Putin's shit. I've given him enough time. I pressed Lizinski. Now, this motherfucker need to quit playing games. Or I'm going to start putting sanctions on this motherfucker. Everything. All right, well, Putin agrees to have a meeting. Putin agrees, all right, let's come to the table. Let's get serious. And then everyone goes, it's a failure. How's it a failure? The whole point of threatening the tariffs and threatening sanctions and putting a deadline up was to get a meeting, was to get the ball rolling. That was the whole point of it. That's been a success. Now we've had the meeting. All right, the meeting was clearly a success because now we're hearing that Lizinski is coming to the White House on Monday. He wouldn't be coming to the fucking White House if there was no progress in this meeting with Putin. Y'all got to use your brain a little bit here. Think about this because I know you rely on the media to tell you everything, but maybe start thinking about it and figuring it out for yourself. You can read between the lines about everything else, but when it comes to Trump, for some reason, you're so hyper-fixated on what the media has to say. It's kind of weird, considering they lie all the time about Trump. You think by now you quit listening, but you just keep listening. Keep regurgitating. Keep bringing it to me. Quit bringing these stupid fucking media talking points to me. I'm tired of hearing them. If you want to listen to that shit and you want to panic and you want to think the sky's, go right ahead. Look dumb. Just like I told you about Iran. You want to panic and act a fool and pretend we're going to World War III and all this dumb shit, go right ahead. But when it's all over and you look dumb in about a week, maybe learn from it. Well, you haven't learned from it. You're still doing it. Still doing it. They're not messing around with Trump. Trump ain't Joe Biden. Trump is not going to let them just keep fucking... He's not going to play their game. They don't want to fuck around with him. Putin would rather just get this war ended than go back and forth with crazy-ass Trump because they don't know. He's a wild card. They don't know what he might do. With Joe Biden, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting out of these Democrats. They ain't worried about Joe Biden. Parr said today, he's like, Joe Biden had Putin under control. On what fucking planet did that happen? These motherfuckers are delusional. Joe Biden had it under control. Joe Biden, boy. Joe Biden wasn't even the president. Joe Biden wasn't even doing anything but sleeping all day. Joe Biden was sitting in a rocking chair while someone else ran the country. Get a grip. Quit lying about it. Well, Ukraine, we can't let Putin take any land. Well, if you want to end the war, they're going to have to allow Putin to build a demilitarized zone. That's literally what he said he wants. He's been saying that. So, see, the thing about Ukraine is Ukraine's not winning the war. Russia is. I know the media tells you Ukraine's winning, and you believe that, but they're not winning at all. They're starting to have to, like, draft 60-year-old men and shit because they're running out of young men. I heard something the other day. They're going to have to get women out there. That's how bad it is. If you don't make a peace deal and the war just keeps going, eventually Putin's going to own the whole country. So if you actually cared about Ukraine, you'd be pushing for peace. Because there is no scenario where Ukraine wins a war without, like, Europe getting involved and, like, America sending troops. Like, you're going to have to do that. It's the only way if you want to keep the war going. Now, you motherfuckers ain't going to go. You ain't going to sign up and go fight it. So why don't you knock it off and just let Trump get it solved? Just hush. Go sit down somewhere. Because you ain't going to go fight it. You don't actually, and by the way, none of you actually care about Ukraine anyway. You're just pretending to. It's all virtue signaling. You don't care. None of you give two fucks about Ukraine or Gaza or any of that. You don't care. You don't care. Oh, people are dying. You don't care about people dying. Hell, some of you watch videos of people dying. You think it's funny on the internet. And then I'm supposed to believe you care so much about these children, all these poor people. You don't give a shit about none of them. You want to keep the war going because some liberal told you that we'll bleed Russia dry. So you'll throw every man, woman, and child into the meat grinder in Ukraine as long as it hurts Russia. As long as Russia has to keep sending troops and all this other shit. It's madness. You can't pretend to be the good guys when you're saying things like that. When you're saying, yeah, keep the war going, it weakens Russia. Yeah, it might weaken Russia a little bit, but all these people are dying in Ukraine. You don't care? I mean, these people are literal children, the things they say. Well, Putin invaded first. He hit me first. Mom, he hit me first. I'm begging you to grow up. If you want me to treat you like a mature grown man and speak to you that way, perhaps you would start acting like one. But I won't hold my breath to see that. You can't act like an immature fucking faggot and say faggot-ass childish things all the time and expect people to treat you like an adult. You all sound like children. There is no scenario where Putin agrees to peace where there is not a zone built between his country and Ukraine. He does not want NATO on his border. That's the whole reason that this war began. It didn't begin for any of these bullshit reasons you've been told. It began because NATO kept pressing again, expanding and pressing against that border. And he told them, stop. You're not putting weapons and missiles on my fucking border. You're not putting Ukraine in NATO. We're not doing this. Putin has every right to defend his country. If they was doing that in Mexico or Canada, if Russia was putting missiles and shit, it would be, we wouldn't tolerate it. So you got to grow up a little bit, and you got to see it from Russia's perspective. You have to understand that Joe Biden in Europe pressed Zelensky into this fucking war because they want to bleed Russia dry. They're willing to sacrifice Ukraine to hurt Russia. But that don't make them the good guy. You're not the good guys because you want to do that. You're actually evil for wanting to do that. You're evil for wanting to kill all these people so you can hurt another country. You're sacrificing all these people for your goal. And then you're trying to convince me you're like a good person. You're not a good person. You're a lunatic. And some military-industrial complex psychopath gave you that talking point and you go around spewing it. You're fucking retard. And you don't even join the military and practice what you preach and go defend. You're not going to throw yourself in the meat grinder. No. But all those men in Ukraine, you'll throw them in there. Crazy. And then want to lecture everybody on how good you are and it's so great. Such a good person. You're not good people. You're some of the worst people on the planet Earth. You can't be trusted. We saw during COVID, you cannot be trusted. You will allow the government to do whatever they want. And now you got all this. You'll allow the government to do whatever they want against law-abiding citizens. But when the government starts cracking down on criminals, then you got a problem with it. Now you want to protest and have a fit and talk about the Constitution. Don't you realize how exposed you are? That's why everybody's laughing at you. We've seen you. We've observed you over the last 10 years. You're full of shit. The only time you care about people's rights, it's when it's some criminal thug. Then you care so much about people's rights. Then you want to recite the amendments to the Constitution. Mind you care so much. When it's an illegal or some thug or any of these types of people, suddenly you know all about the Bill of Rights. But when it's a citizen, fuck all that. When it's during COVID, fuck all that. When it's the gun rights, fuck all that. Fuck all that. COVID boosters linked to increased influ-like illness. Get boosted. Go get another one. Imagine wasting your day, wasting time going down and getting another one in 2025. Mind fucked by propaganda from 5 years ago. Think about it. Mind fucked by propaganda from 5 fucking years ago that everybody, even the most retarded people alive, realized was propaganda. And still believing it, still pushing it. Is it to troll? Is it, what is it? What is it? Surely you don't wear a mask in public just to fuck with people. Maybe you do. Very strange. And I don't think Andy Bashir has any chance. 2028 is going to be tough for the Democrats because they're up against success. And that's why they're trying to stop Trump, because Trump is just killing them. And so they're desperately trying to find something that will stick to Trump so they can run with it. But there isn't anything. And every time they think they got something, they don't. And here's why. Democrats don't have the credibility to criticize Trump. They don't realize that. Even people that don't trust Trump trust them even less. You may not trust Trump about Epstein, but when the Democrats start talking about Epstein suddenly out of nowhere, well, that's suspect as fuck. Why trust them? They're just using Epstein to try to hurt Trump. They don't really care about it at all. It's all bullshit. And I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for your suddenly you care about Epstein. You didn't all the times I tried to talk about it. You said that was crazy. You said that's a conspiracy theory. But now suddenly you believe it. You care so much. Yeah, I bet. It's all about Trump. It's all about fucking Trump. Democrats have no candidate. They think they're going to run Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, who spends all day on Twitter impersonating Trump. By the time we get to 2028, the Democrats will be so unpopular. I mean, I predict possibly single-digit approval ratings at that point. I mean, we're already in the teens. What was it, like 19% the other day or some crazy shit? It's going to get even worse. Unless they can find something to derail Trump, they're desperately trying to find it every day. They're desperate. And the Russia shit's driving them. They've been very restless the last couple of days because the Russia shit was one of their big talking points. Oh, Trump ain't ended the war like he said. I mean, you got people calling into like the Breakfast Club and shit, arguing with these people, and they're like, well, Trump said he'd end it on day one, and the guy on the phone is like, yeah, but that's just political talk, man. Come on. Stop being silly. People's tired of the silliness and the nonsense. Like, grow up and act like a normal person. 10 fucking years of acting like a fucking retard. Pretending not to see things, pretending not to notice, playing dumb all the time. It's ran its course on the public, and they're tired of it. They're rejecting it. If you cannot grow the fuck up and act right, you're not going to win any elections. You're just not. All these people crying about what's happening in D.C., but when they interview the people that live there, they're like, oh, it's so peaceful now, ever since Trump started cracking down. That's what you really fear, is you fear the success of Trump. Because every time he succeeds, you lose voters. That's what you really fear. You don't fear dictatorship or fascism or any of that. You fear the success. If Trump succeeds, you can't possibly defeat him. You can't possibly win the midterms. Yeah, I think a Republican will end up winning governor of Kentucky. Nick Fuentes is not going to be the president. He's just a guy on the internet. Remember a couple of weeks ago, or remember the Iran stuff and the Epstein stuff, and all these people turned on Trump and started attacking him, and everyone was like, oh, this is going to hurt Trump. Oh, my God. And then the polling came out, and Trump's numbers were the same, and in fact, some of his numbers went up. Because these people don't have as much power as you think they do. They're just doing a talk show on the internet. They're not that influential. They're really not. Nor are they experts on anything. That's why they're wrong a lot. That's why they were wrong about Iran. They were all saying we were going to go to war for Israel. They were all pushing that shit, and it never happened. and it never was going to happen. They're caught up in a bunch of shit with Israel. They're really biased with Israel. So much like TDS, when it comes to Israel, they can't focus. They can't see straight. Trump didn't bomb Iran for Israel. He did it because he's always said, even before he was president, that Iran can't be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. He's always been clear about that. There's clips of him talking about it from like 2010 and shit. If you actually know Trump and pay attention, none of that was surprising. It wasn't surprising that all he did was bomb the nuclear site and that was the end of it. Because Trump doesn't believe in getting in a bunch of wars and sending troops and stuff. He's not going to do that. Not for something like this. There may be a time to do something like that, but it ain't for Iran. That's for like we get attacked or something. Some crazy attack happens or something. And that ain't happened. The reason you guys are wrong about Trump is because you have these assumptions about Trump that are not based in reality. Clouds your judgment. You're just as bad as the liberals. That's what this year has taught me, that you guys are just as bad as the liberals. You panic just like them. You still listen to the mainstream media and what they say, and you believe it. You don't question it at all. I hear the stuff they say, and I go, eh. Unless it's provable, I just go, maybe true, maybe fake. Who knows? A source told us that this happened. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you just made that up. Lying has consequences, and the media's lied too much to have any trust. So unless they can back up what they're saying with some real evidence, there's no reason to believe it. You can hear it, but there's no reason to believe anything without proof. And Nick Fuentes is not as big as, people want to make him out to be. He's just some guy that does a talk show. He's just some edgy guy that says edgy things on a talk show. And kids are into that. These young kids are into that. But as they grow up, the problem Nicholas Fuentes is going to face is as his audience ages, they're going to get tired of that. They're going to meet girls, they're going to get married, they're going to have children, and it's just not going to be cool. And, maybe Nick will evolve. Maybe he will grow up. But if he's still doing the same bullshit, he'll lose his audience. Because these guys ain't going to be these... They're into the Jewish stuff right now, but eventually they're going to meet a girl, and, they're going to think she's not going to be into all that, and they're going to go, it's kind of dumb, ain't it? It's kind of silly. Because they're going to be so into this girl that they're not going to want to waste a lot of time on little Nick and the Jewish stuff. A lot of this stuff is like guys with no girlfriends who are just bitter. Really bitter. That's the Fresh and Fit audience. That's some of Nick's audience, too. Bitter, lonely guys who have had their heart broken or, never had a girl, whatever. And that makes you miserable. And when you're miserable, you're into all this goofy shit. But that won't last forever. Yeah, the Fresh and Fit guys don't even have girls. If you're going to be giving relationship advice, you should have a girl or have had girls or been married or something. But if you ain't got no girl right now and you ain't had a bunch of them before, what can you tell a man about women? Nothing. You can't possibly tell men about women. You don't know nothing about them. You don't even fucking interact with them. You've never had sex with one. You've never dated one long term. You never done anything. I'm not black. Talking about. I seen a video of that guy. He had a girlfriend, and she said on a podcast they never had sex. These guys that are like ultra hard on women, I just get a vibe off of them that they had their heart broke. That's what that is. Some woman drug them through the mud, and they ain't ever been the same since. And then they're like on a crusade against women because they're bitter. No. I seen a video about Myron. He was dating some girl, and he would talk about her on the stream, and then he stopped talking about her, and then she went on a podcast and said they never had sex, and she met another guy. And he said on the stream, he said, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have time for one. I'm too busy. Which is some coping bullshit for real. Although a girl does take a lot of your time, I mean, you know. But I mean, what the fuck, man? That's not why these guys are alone. Like, it's all coping bullshit. I mean, there are some times in your life where you don't want to date any girls, but that don't mean you're not fucking girls. So when they're sitting there going, nah, I just don't have time for girls. Come on, man. And just nobody's buying it. Like, Nick, I seen some dude left a super chat on Nicholas Fence's stream the other day, and he was like, come on, man, nobody's believing a 27-year-old man don't want no pussy. Like, you must be gay if you don't want pussy. It's true. So either he's gay and he legitimately does not want pussy, or he wants some, but he just can't get it. And so all that, oh, I'm a Catholic, and that's why I'm a virgin, all that's just a cope shit. Or he's a rare type of guy that doesn't want no pussy until he's married. I mean, how many guys like that walk the planet? Yeah, that Hispanic chick said they never fucked. It's just crazy. And the way these guys talk, maybe it works on young people. I'm just too old for it. But I listen to them talk, and I'm like, they don't know nothing about women, man. The way the advice these guys give you about women, if you take their advice, congratulations, you're going to die alone because you ain't never going to have a girl. If you treat women the way they tell you to treat women, you'll never have one. So if you go ahead, I guess. But that shit doesn't work. That bullshit does not work. If it worked, they would have girls. They don't have girls. What's with all these people giving relationship advice that don't have women or don't get pussy? It's crazy. It's the craziest shit. At least Andrew Tate gets pussy. Seems what about Andrew Tate, but he clearly gets pussy. There's videos of women talking about fucking him, talking about, oh, I love him and all that. Clearly, he's got women. And he's got to know these guys are full of shit. He just likes them so he don't go hard on them. But he knows they're fucking dweebs. He's met them. He knows. But when you like a guy, you're like, well, I'm not going to be hard on him. If he didn't like him, he'd be like, the guy didn't even fuck that girl once. Be clowning him. I haven't seen no proof he was trafficking. I haven't seen one woman come forward and say she was trafficked. I don't believe that. Till I see some proof. I mean, I've looked into it. Where's the evidence? Yeah, Sneako's just a follower. He be trying to latch on to these dudes and shit. Be your own guy. Hey, little bathroom. Be your own guy. Quit trying to be Andrew Tate or whatever. Be your own guy. Cold in this bitch. Cold in this bitch. Cold in this bitch. Oh, I'm bored. I'm gonna go watch a movie or something. I got nothing left to say about this bullshit. Anything before I go? Anything you'd like to get off your chest? I'm doing all right. I might get back on the bed. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I think I'm going to play Fortnite. Goodbye.